Hello and welcome to this devotional from the You Need Faith in Jesus team. Today, we're going to dive into Psalm 54. Now, it's a short psalm, but wow, is it powerful. It's really a roadmap that shows us how to get from that raw, gut-wrenching pain of betrayal all the way to a place of just solid, unshakable praise. So, let's walk through this journey together.
Right out of the gate, the psalm just hits you with this raw, urgent plea. You can feel the desperation, can't you? This isn't some calm, quiet, reflective prayer. Oh no, this is an emergency SOS call from someone who is right in the middle of a full-blown crisis. David is crying out for God to step in right now, and these first words, they really set the tone for everything else.
So to really get what's happening in this prayer, we've got to understand the incredible pressure David was under. This isn't just about some random enemy. This is about a deep, personal, and painful betrayal.
To understand David's cry, you have to know who did this to him. So he's on the run, right? Hiding from a jealous King Saul. But get this, the ones who turn him in are the Ziphites, his own kinsmen. These are the people who should have been his brothers, his allies. This psalm is born from that unique, sharp kind of pain that only comes when you're turned against by your own people.
So when David prays, "Save me, O God, by thy name," he's doing something really profound. He's not just asking for help. He's appealing to God's very reputation, to his character. He's basically saying, God, act in a way that is true to who you are, your power, your justice, your faithfulness. It's such a powerful model for us, and it reminds me of how Jesus prayed in John 17:11, asking the Father to keep his followers through thine own name.
Now, David calls his betrayers strangers, which is kind of shocking, right? Because they were his own people. But he calls them this because their actions were just so foreign to God's ways. And right here he puts his finger on the root cause of their evil. They have not set God before them. They were living with a kind of practical atheism, just acting as if God didn't exist or didn't matter. It's the exact same problem the Apostle Paul points out in Romans 3:18. There is no fear of God before their eyes.
Okay, so in the middle of this completely desperate situation, David does something amazing. He deliberately, consciously changes his entire perspective. This right here, this is the turning point of the whole psalm.
So let's just remember the scene, okay? The pressure is immense. He's being hunted by ruthless enemies, betrayed by people he should have been able to trust. The danger is absolutely real and his life is on the line. But just watch what he does next.
And here it is. This is the moment it all changes. David uses that incredible word, behold. It's like he slams on the spiritual brakes. He forces himself to stop looking at his enemies and to look, really look, at his God. He declares a truth that must have felt impossible in that moment. God is my helper. This is a conscious decision to make our thoughts line up with God's truth, just like we're told to do in Hebrews 13:6. The Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me.
And this shift in focus, it doesn't just bring him a little bit of peace. It produces this powerful confidence in God's character and a heart that is already getting ready to worship.
Now, we get to a tough part of the prayer in verse 5, cut them off in thy truth. And I know that can sound really harsh, but it's so important that we see this isn't a cry for personal revenge. This is a plea for divine justice. David is handing the entire situation over to God, trusting him to be the judge and set things right according to his perfect truth. As 2 Thessalonians 1:6 reminds us, it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
And that confidence, it just bubbles right up into an act of worship. While he's still in danger, David vows he's going to bring a free will sacrifice. This isn't one he's required to make. This is one that's overflowing from a grateful heart. And notice this, he praises God's name before the rescue has even arrived. This is why God delivers us, so that our thanksgiving can bring him more glory. A truth we see so clearly in 2 Corinthians 4:15.
And then the psalm ends with this absolutely stunning statement of faith. Just listen to the tense he uses. He hath delivered me. It's past tense. Even though he's still hiding out in the wilderness, his trust in God is so complete that his future deliverance is already a present reality in his heart. He is 100% certain of the outcome.
Okay, so what does this all mean for us? How can we take this incredible model of faith from David's life and apply it to the trials, the betrayals, and the troubles that we all face in our own lives? Well, David gives us a really clear 4-step path. First, pray with urgency. Cry out to God based on who he is. Second, make that conscious behold shift. Declare that God is your helper, no matter what it looks or feels like. Third, you've got to entrust justice to him. Release that need for personal vengeance. And finally, number 4, begin to praise him in advance. Start thanking him for the victory that you know by faith is already on its way.
So we'll leave you with this question to really think about. Whatever storm you might be facing right now, what would it look like for you to stare it right in the face and, with the same kind of confident faith David had, speak about your future deliverance as if it has already happened? What does it look like for you to say, "He hath delivered me"?